Maya said she wanted to support me, said she couldn't wait to stand beside me on my big day. Then she used my bridal shower as a set piece for her own drama, hijacking the mic, fake crying into her latte, and live streaming it all for clout. So I gave her a moment she'd never forget, on camera, in front of everyone. And when the latte started to smoke, so did the truth. Chapter 1, Warning Signs. If I'm being honest, the signs were always there. Not glaring, not fireworks and sirens obvious, but subtle, patterned, predictable. The first time I really noticed it was at Ivy's engagement brunch. Ivy walked in, glowing in blush satin, her hand practically levitating under the weight of that ring. And Maya? She showed up 40 minutes late in a silky white jumpsuit, cut low and clinging like it had been steamed onto her body. "Oh my God," Ivy's sister said under her breath. "Is that white?" "It's eggshell," Maya announced loudly, kissing the bride-to-be's cheek. Totally different. No one laughed. Not really, but Ivy smiled. She always smiled. And Maya got what she wanted. Eyes on her. Then there was Mia's baby shower. Soft pastels, lavender cupcakes, a diaper cake centerpiece. And Maya again, waiting until the halfway point to saunter in, this time with sunglasses still on and a fresh tan from Cabo. "Sorry," she said, plopping down beside the mom-to-be. "I almost didn't make it. Breakups and baby showers? Not my week." Then she took the mic for the toast and launched into a heartfelt monologue about healing, grief, and letting go. That somehow turned into a tearful recounting of her last relationship. Mia just nodded along, visibly confused. "I guess that's a toast to new beginnings," she'd murmured afterward. People always gave Maya the benefit of the doubt. She's just passionate. She doesn't mean to steal the spotlight. She's going through a lot. But the truth? Maya was addicted to emotional center stage, and when it wasn't her moment, she made it hers. So when she found out I was engaged, I braced myself. "Yes, finally," she screamed into the phone. "Okay, hear me out. Joint bachelorette. It'll be epic. Vegas or Costa Rica." I laughed, thought she was kidding, but she wasn't. When I gently explained that I wanted something small, something just for me and my bridesmaids, her voice tightened. "Oh, no, I totally get it. It's your moment." The way she said it, like the word "your," was an insult. A week before the shower, she sent me a vague text. "Hey babe, just a heads up, I might be a little late. This week's been emotional. I'll fill you in." No further explanation, no apology, just a warning. I showed Jordan the message. "What, did she stub her toe on your spotlight again?" She deadpanned. I laughed, but quietly, because this time, I couldn't shake the feeling. She wasn't just going to be late. She was going to be loud. Chapter 2. The games begin. The group chat had started out sweet. Photos of sample centerpieces, menu polls. Jordan joked that if the florist flaked, she'd march in with a tiara and a bouquet of grocery store daisies just to set the tone. Even Camila, always the quiet one, chimed in with, "Can we please do a mimosa bar?" and 3 orange emojis. But once Maya joined the thread, it shifted. Suddenly, every choice became a problem. Too basic, too overdone, too not Elena. Which was wild, considering Maya hadn't asked me what I wanted once. Wait, are we really doing white and gold? I thought Elena was more of a sage and rose kind of girl. You guys picked that brunch spot? Okay. Just making sure I'm not sitting near Jordan. She always has something snarky to say. I stayed quiet at first, because what else do you do when someone hijacks your bridal shower planning and spins it into a slow, passive-aggressive landslide? Camila texted me privately, "Do you want me to say something?" I told her no. Told myself it wasn't worth it, that Maya was just being Maya. 3 days before the shower, she called me. Not to ask if I was excited, not to offer help. "So, just checking, are you cool with me bringing my friend Nico? He's in town and I didn't want to leave him hanging. He loves weddings." "It's not the wedding," I said slowly. "It's the shower. And it's all women, mostly family and close friends." There was a pause. Then, wow. "Okay, I mean if it's a big deal." Her tone made it sound like I was the one making things awkward. Like enforcing a guest list for my own event was somehow controlling. By the time I got off the call, I had a tension headache blooming behind my left eye. Later that night, Jordan came over to help assemble gift bags. She poured us both a glass of wine, then raised an eyebrow. "So, what's our over-under on Maya pulling something tomorrow?" I hesitated. "I don't want to assume the worst," I said. She gave me a look. "That girl's whole brand is the worst." I laughed, mostly because it was easier than agreeing. But in my chest, I felt it. That tight, bracing ache of someone who knew, deep down, that something was about to go wrong. And that this time, I might not be able to brush it off. Chapter 3. The shower setup. The venue was perfect. A cozy little garden room tucked behind my favorite brunch spot. All whitewashed brick, warm sunlight filtering through old greenhouse windows, gold-accented chairs surrounding tables dotted with pale pink hydrangeas. It was intimate, breezy, and a little bit magical. Exactly what I'd pictured when I dreamed about this day. Jordan was already there when I arrived, holding a clipboard like she was managing a crisis hotline. "Florist showed up," she reported, nodding toward the arch near the head table. "Crisis averted. Guess I don't have to break out the grocery store daisies and tiara." I laughed and set my bag down. Honestly, kind of wanted to see that energy. Don't tempt me. I've still got the tiara in my purse, just in case. We shared a look, not just amusement, anticipation, because we both knew today had a variable, and her name was Maya. As guests started trickling in, the tension lifted a little. Jordan passed around mimosas while my cousin queued up the Bridal Glow playlist. The favors, tiny bath-soaked jars with gold ribbon, got compliments from everyone. My aunt nearly cried over them. For a few minutes, it felt safe to believe this day might actually go off without a hitch. Then the door opened, and she walked in. Maya, exactly 37 minutes late, in a floor-length champagne gown with slit sleeves and rhinestone detailing that shimmered like it had been pulled from a bridal shoot rack. Her hair was professionally blown out, her lips glossed to high shine. One arm held a mini clutch, the other raised, filming. She was live-streaming her entrance. "Oh my God, it's giving princess," she called out, sweeping into the room like he'd just won an award. "Sorry I'm late. Traffic was unreal today. But it's fine. The bride's here. The party can start." She said it to her phone, not to me, not even looking at me. She kissed the air near my cheek, careful not to touch me, then immediately turned and beelined toward the most crowded corner of the room. Camila stood to hug her. Jordan didn't. "Oh, we're hugging," Maya said with a smirk. "Thought I was persona non grata." "Still deciding," Jordan replied, cool and unbothered. "It's early." I winced, but I didn't interfere. I'd learned something lately. Stepping in to manage Maya's mood always meant absorbing the fallout. This time, she could handle her own consequences. Maya didn't take the seat assigned to her. She dragged one over to the center of the front table, directly across from me, and positioned her phone upright in front of her place setting, balancing it against a bud vase like it was a full production set. "Just capturing memories," she said lightly. "Don't mind me." Except everyone did mind her. Every camera flash that followed was hers. Every reaction, every bit of energy, it shifted to orbit her. I hadn't even unwrapped a gift yet. And somehow, the shower wasn't mine anymore. Chapter 4. Maya's big moment. We'd planned a toast circle, nothing formal, just something light to wrap the day. Each bridesmaid would share a quick memory or wish, and we'd clink glasses before dessert. Camila went first. She got misty talking about college and how Liam had once driven 5 hours just to help me move into a new apartment. Then Jordan made everyone laugh so hard they nearly spit champagne. Elena's the only person I've ever met who could coordinate a hurricane evacuation and color code a bachelorette spreadsheet in the same week. She deserves a partner who sees that, who sees her. Applause, grinning, a genuine glow. And then Maya stood up, uninvited. I wasn't sure if I was going to say anything. She started, adjusting the mic even though no one had offered it to her. But after sitting here and watching, I guess I just can't stay quiet. She scanned the room like she was on stage. This has been a really emotional week for me. A lot of people wouldn't have even shown up, but I did, because that's what real friends do. They show up even when it's hard, even when they've been forgotten. I stiffened. Jordan froze mid-sip. Maya turned toward me, not warmly. "Elena and I have been through everything together, like literally everything. From boys to breakups to family mess. And yeah, maybe we've drifted a little. But people grow, and sometimes people forget who was there holding their hair back after their worst nights, or who canceled their own plans to help them write a resume, or who kept secrets, big ones, that could have changed everything. Camila shot me a panicked glance. My stomach turned. Maya wasn't giving a toast. She was issuing a threat. But it's not about me today, she added, brushing a hair off her shoulder, voice trembling just enough to sound sincere. It's about you, Elena, and I hope this wedding gives you everything you think you need. Then she raised her glass. To the bride, and to the friends who stay quiet, even when they probably shouldn't. Silence. Not polite silence, shaken silence. No one clapped. A few people glanced at each other, unsure whether they'd just watched a breakdown or a performance. Jordan leaned in. Say the word and I'll unplug the speaker. But I shook my head. My hands were clenched in my lap, nails digging into my palm. I didn't want to cause a scene, but Maya already had. If you've ever had someone hijack your big moment, hit like. If you've ever had to cut someone from your wedding, tell us below. And if you want more stories where the messy friend gets exposed, subscribe. Some people give a toast. Others give you the perfect ending. Let's get back to the drama. The rest of the event blurred. I smiled through gifts, thanked everyone for coming, but the tone had shifted. People were quieter, checking their phones, glancing Maya's way like she might stand up and start monologuing again. And when I looked back at the group photos later, there I was, smiling, but hollow-eyed. Like I already knew something was broken, and the break had a name. Chapter 5, The Aftermath. I didn't see the post until the next morning. Liam and I had just gotten back from brunch. One of those lazy post-event mornings where you try to talk about anything but the thing that went wrong. I was halfway through writing a thank you card to his aunt when my phone buzzed. Camila, text only, no emojis, a link, followed by, "Did you approve this?" I clicked it. TikTok. Maya's account. She'd posted the entire toast. But not just a raw video. It was edited, curated, cinematic pans across the flower arch. Her voice layered over soft piano music. A clip of me looking stunned, captioned with, "When you realize your real friends won't clap for the truth." The title? When you show up for someone who forgot who you are. Hashtag bridal shower realness, hashtag tough love. My name was tagged. So was the venue, and Jordan, and Camila, and the wedding hashtag. At first, I just sat there, phone in hand, fingers frozen, chest hollow. Then the comments started rolling in. "Oh my God, Maya, you are so strong. Real friends say what others won't." The way the bride just sits there, guilt. "This is why people cut you off when they get a ring. You deserved better, Maya. Speak your truth, queen. Tag the bride. She needs to see this." They didn't know me. They didn't know the context. But Maya had handed them a narrative, and they swallowed it whole. Jordan showed up 20 minutes later. No text, no warning, just a knock at the door and a bottle of red in one hand. "You saw it?" she asked as I let her in. I nodded, barely. She edited it. She posted it last night, while we were still cleaning up. Jordan sat on the couch, kicked her shoes off like she was preparing for war. Of course she did. She's not impulsive. She's strategic. She wanted to tank your moment and make it look like healing. I said nothing. I was still watching the video loop in my head, not the real one, but the version Maya curated, where I looked cold, ungrateful, unmoved. "You want me to drag her?" Jordan asked. "Because I can drag her, publicly, with screenshots and timestamps and the receipt for that tiara I didn't wear." I cracked a smile, barely. "I just want it to stop," I said quietly. "I want to go back to before she walked in." "Then cut her." I did. I removed her from the wedding group. "That's not cutting her. That's whispering from across the street," she yelled on a megaphone. She was right. Removing Maya silently was the polite option, the easy one. But this wasn't a misunderstanding. This wasn't hurt feelings. This was targeted. This was tactical. And it wasn't over. Because Maya didn't just want to be heard. She wanted an audience. Later that night, Liam came and sat beside me, scrolling through the comments himself. "What do you want to do?" he asked. I didn't answer right away. I was watching Maya's expression in the video. Calm, poised, just the right amount of tremble in her voice, like she was auditioning for empathy and getting it. "I'm going to respond," I said finally. "Online? No," I said, standing. "In person, where she can't cut the camera to make herself look better. Because if Maya wanted a mic, then she'd better be ready to share the stage." Chapter 6. The confrontation from she brought chaos to my bridal shower, so I cut her from the wedding. I didn't text, didn't ask to meet, didn't give her time to rehearse. I wanted her off script. Maya was at her usual cafe downtown, the one she always tagged in her healing and creating posts. I knew she'd be there because she already uploaded a flat lay of her matcha, laptop, and a caption that read, "Trust the timing, protect your energy, ... She looked up when I walked in. Her phone, propped on a mini tripod, was angled at her. Streaming again. Of course it was. "Hey," she said, like we were casual friends, not two people standing in the rubble of my bridal shower. "No warning? I thought you liked surprises." I glanced to my right. A woman near the back, mid-20s, oversized headphones around her neck, noticed the shift in tone. She angled her phone slightly. "Recording. Good. Let her catch what Maya wouldn't dare post." "I saw your video," I said, sitting across from her. It was a moment. She shrugged. "People really connected with it. You wouldn't believe the DMs. You hijacked my bridal shower. I shared how I felt. That's not a crime." "No, but curating that moment, editing the footage to cut out your smirk, your sarcasm." The reactions around the room, that wasn't sharing. That was staging. Maya leaned back, tone icy. I told the truth. "No," I said. "You sold a story, and you made me the villain so you could be the victim." She scoffed. "You've always hated how easily people like me." I stared at her. Dead on. "No, Maya. People don't like you. They like who you pretend to be. They don't see the backstabbing or the manipulation. They don't see how you used my bridal shower as a platform to market your pity." Her face tensed. I didn't stop. "You stole something from me that I can never get back. And the worst part? You don't even care." She looked like she might speak, but I cut her off. "I know we've drifted the last few years. Life happened. People changed. But I still made it a priority to reach out to you, to include you, because you were important to me." I pulled a gold envelope from my bag. Her formal wedding invitation. "I was a dumbass," I said quietly, "because I believed I was important to you too." I lit a match. The corner of the envelope caught fire. Maya's eyes widened. "But now I see it clearly," I continued. "I wasn't a friend to you. I was a stepping stone, a backdrop for your content, a storyline to boost your engagement." The flame curled higher. "I'm correcting that mistake." And with that, I dropped the burning invite into her untouched oat milk latte. It hissed, foamed, snuffed out, just like her place in my life. She stood, latte still hissing with smoke. "Why are you making this such a big deal?" she snapped. "I thought we were friends." I looked her dead in the eye. So did I, and then I turned, leaving her standing in the ruins of her own performance. Chapter 7. Fallout. The video hit Instagram before I even got home. But not from Maya. Someone else at the cafe, a lifestyle podcaster named Lana, apparently had been filming from the back corner. She uploaded the full exchange, unedited. A wide shot of Maya streaming. Me walking in. The burn. The latte. The moment Maya flinched as the envelope hissed and curled into ash. No context. No captions. Just vibes and fire. She titled it, "When the Influencer Gets Out-Influenced." Wirelessly called. It was up for less than an hour before it crossed 50K views. By the time I changed out of my jeans and flats, I had 3 unread DMs and 1 missed call from Jordan, with a voicemail that started, "Girl, you broke the algorithm." That night, TikTok got a hold of it, and that's when the real storm hit. People didn't just watch it, they analyzed it, froze it, enhanced it. Theories bloomed. Notice how Maya blinks right before Elena speaks. She knew. The girl in the back was recording the whole time. Icon. I don't know who Elena is, but I want her on every guest list. Normalize confronting people who weaponize your joy. That wasn't revenge. That was restoration. I didn't say a single word. Not on TikTok, not on Instagram, not in a story or a statement. I didn't need to. Because for once, the truth didn't need filters or a hashtag to trend. But Maya, She panicked. She posted a teary-eyed story that night about how private moments were being taken out of context, that she loved her friend deeply and was processing a lot. She framed it as a misunderstanding, an emotional misstep, a moment where she felt invisible. Problem was, the comments weren't buying it. Nah girl, you filmed yourself. Weaponizing wellness is wild. You used your friend's bridal shower as content and got caught. Sit down. Victim energy expired the second you hit post. Why are you crying when she lost the moment that was supposed to be hers? My inbox blew up, but not in the way it had after her original video. This time the tone was different. People I hadn't heard from in months messaged me things like, "You deserved better." I always got weird vibes from her. "I'm so sorry that happened. You handled it with so much grace." Even my great-aunt messaged me with, "I don't understand TikTok, but that girl with the match, I cheered." 3 days later, Maya texted, "You didn't have to humiliate me. I would have taken the video down. We could have talked like adults. You made it personal." But it was personal. She'd turned my once-in-a-lifetime moment into her branding opportunity. And for what? Pity points and a 2-minute reel? No apology, no admission, just damage control. I left her unread because sometimes the most powerful response isn't a post or a clapback, it's removal. And Maya was finally, irrevocably, cut. Chapter 8, The Group Chat Reboot. The group chat didn't explode. It didn't implode either. It just paused. The day after the video went viral, Bridal Babes went quiet. No gifs, no memes, no Jordan polling the group about veil lengths, no Serena reminding us to hydrate. Just the digital equivalent of someone walking out of a room and everyone else unsure if they should follow. Maya had already been removed. Jordan did that before I even asked. But the air still felt heavy, residual, like we all needed to detox from the silence. 3 days passed, then 5. Then, out of nowhere, Avery dropped a message. "Avery, do we talk about it? Or do we pretend our group didn't go viral for an accidental latte funeral?" A few dots popped up. "Serena. Girl. You have no idea how many times I've watched that video. Like I'm weirdly proud." "Is that bad?" "Jordan, I made popcorn. Like actual popcorn. And rewatched it with my sister. She said it needs to be a short film." That cracked something open. Suddenly, the chat was alive again. Not with drama, with us. The real us. No Maya curating the vibe. No filters. No one trying to hijack the mood for likes. Just laughter. Honesty. Relief. And then this. "Serena, I want to help redo the shower. Just us. No influencers. I know it won't erase what happened. But maybe we give you back a little piece of it." I didn't respond right away. I just stared at the screen. Because that wasn't small. That was friendship trying to repair something Maya had fractured. That same night, Jordan messaged me privately. "Jordan, I know it's late notice, but if you want another bridesmaid, Danny's game. She's low drama and high snacks, and she loved your dress." A few seconds later, Jordan, also, "Just to say, I know she's my little sister. But you've known Danny since forever. She still talks about that sleepover when you let her paint your nails like watermelon slices. She's been ride or die for you since middle school. And honestly, I think she'd be honored." I smiled, hard, because it wasn't just a patch job. It was the right person at the right time. Someone who didn't want attention, just to support me. Me. I'd love that. Tell her she's officially recruited. The next morning, I did something small, but symbolic. I renamed the chat. From Bridal Babes to Real Bridal Babes. Crown. And the moment I tapped save, a weight lifted. Maya was out of the wedding, out of the circle, and finally, out of the narrative. Chapter 9, The Speech Rewrite. I stared at the mess on my kitchen table. Half-written note cards. Crossed-out paragraphs. A printed draft of my wedding speech with pink highlighter bleeding through 3 separate thank yous. It was chaos. Not the fiery kind, but the slow, quiet kind. The kind that builds from a feeling you don't want to admit out loud. None of it felt right anymore. The original version had been warm, gracious, safe. The kind of speech meant to keep the peace, crack a few jokes, shout out my girls, make everyone cry a little, and feel good about themselves. But it didn't match what I felt now. Not because I wanted to call Maya out, but because I wanted something real. Jordan texted, "Speech night? Want backup?" I replied with one word, "Please." 20 minutes later, she walked in with snacks and 4 highlighters like we were cramming for finals. "You look like someone's holding you hostage." she said, surveying the chaos. I kind of am, I replied. I just don't know how to say what I want without sounding bitter. Jordan dropped her bag of peanut nandoms on the table and sat down. You don't need to be bitter, just honest. Honesty is a mic drop. We went line by line, and the more we rewrote, the more something shifted. The speech didn't become about Maya. Not directly. It became about resilience, about community, about joy that's earned, not staged, about what it means to show up when the cameras aren't rolling, to celebrate each other without turning it into content. I kept a line I'd almost deleted. This isn't the wedding I pictured as a little girl. It's better, because it's built on truth. Jordan underlined it 3 times. That's the line that stays. We added another young together. Thank you to the women who reminded me that love doesn't just show up in romance. It shows up in group chats, grocery runs, and last-minute bridesmaid fittings. She grinned. Danny's going to sob. Good, I said. She deserves to. I paused when I got to the closing paragraph. Originally, it had been a generic sentiment. Something about the future and dancing into forever. Now, sometimes the hardest thing isn't cutting people out. It's choosing to let the right ones in. So this next chapter, this marriage, this life, it's starting with the people who chose me first. Not for the optics, not for the likes, just for me. Jordan let out a low whistle. Okay, Elena, give me that mic. When we finished, I slid the final speech into my clutch and exhaled like I hadn't in weeks. No fire, no spectacle, just truth. And this time, it was mine. Chapter 10, The Big Day. I thought I'd wake up nervous. Instead, I felt still. Not the shaky, caffeinated kind of stillness, but the kind that comes after surviving something. The kind that wraps around your ribs like, you made it, you're here. I sat up in bed and blinked toward the window. The light was soft, gentle, wedding day light. For the first time in weeks, I wasn't thinking about Maya. I was thinking about me. Jordan arrived at 7:45 a.m. sharp, with Danny in tow, both carrying iced coffees and a bag of chocolate croissants. They wore matching Team Bride hoodies, sequined letters, no less, that I definitely hadn't approved, but couldn't stop smiling at. Danny beamed as she hugged me. Okay, but can we talk about how you're glowing and you're not even in the dress yet? It's giving main character. I laughed. That's probably just the stress sweat. Nope, she said. That's bridal energy. Very exclusive club. Jordan tossed me a pair of fuzzy slippers. Now go brush your teeth and prepare to be doted on. The morning flowed like a dream. Makeup artists arrived early. The hairstylist brought backup. The playlist was pure serotonin. Everything from Beyoncé to Stevie Wonder. There were mimosa spills, and a minor panic when someone thought the veil had gone missing. Only to realize it was already pinned in my hair. Even the florist, the one we'd quietly placed bets on, came through. The bouquets looked exactly like the inspo pics. I almost cried when I saw the arrangement. Almost. When I slipped into the dress, the room went silent, and then Serena whispered, "Oh my God, she's a painting." I turned to the mirror. It wasn't about how I looked. It was how I felt. Not like I was playing a part. Not like I was trying to keep the peace. Just whole. And it hit me then. This wasn't the ending to the chaos Maya brought. It was the beginning of everything she had no part in. The ceremony started at 3 p.m. sharp at the garden venue downtown. White folding chairs lined a cobblestone path. Petals had been scattered with a florist's touch. The sun was just beginning its descent. Golden, warm, cinematic. People I loved sat in rows. Family, friends, the bridal party. No one asked where Maya was. Not once. There were imperfections. Of course, one of the groomsmen tripped walking down the aisle. My uncle sneezed during the vows. And Danny, bless her sentimental heart, cried so hard when I appeared that her mascara smudged halfway down her cheeks. "Don't look at me," she whispered, laughing and sniffling. "I'm a disaster." But none of it mattered, because what we had was real. Not curated, not contrived, not content. Connection. At the reception, the speeches began. I clutched the rewritten note cards in my palm, now soft with fingerprints and creases. Jordan caught my eye from across the room and gave a tiny nod, the kind only a best friend would know how to give. And then I stood, the room quieted. I took a breath. "This isn't the wedding I imagined as a little girl," I began. "It's better, because it's honest." I spoke about the joy that shows up when everything falls apart and the right people stay anyway. about the women in my life who carried me, who saw me, who chose me again and again, not because they had to, but because they wanted to. Sometimes the hardest thing isn't cutting people out, I said. It's choosing to let the right ones in. So that's what this marriage, this life, is starting with. The people who chose me. Not for the optics, not for the likes, just me. No one clapped at first, they just breathed. And then, applause. Real applause. Soft and steady and full. Not a performance, a moment. Later that night, as the music pulsed and the champagne flowed, Jordan pulled me aside. "You did it," she said. "No," I told her, hugging her tightly. "We did." And this time, no one was filming it. No one was streaming it. No one was angling for attention. It was just the end of one story and the beginning of another. And I was finally, fully ready for it. Epilogue 1 month later. The video never disappeared. If anything, it kept circulating, jumping from platform to platform like some mythical cautionary tale. TikTok, Reddit, Threads, even YouTube compilations. When your friend hijacks your bridal shower and ends up publicly toasted. Literally. Latte Girl deserves an Oscar and a restraining order. I didn't engage. I didn't comment. Didn't subtweet. Didn't even send it to my group chat. But I knew it was still out there. And honestly, that was fine. Let people draw their own conclusions. Maya tried to pivot. That much was clear. First came the apology post, a soft-lit selfie with a caption about miscommunication, pressure, and being human. The comments weren't kind. Then she disappeared for a bit, archived most of her feed, came back rebranded as a healing and growth content creator. I didn't follow her. But enough people sent me screenshots to know she'd swapped chaos for candles and called it evolution. She never reached out, not to apologize, not to explain, not to ask what she'd cost me. And truthfully, that silence said more than any DM ever could. Meanwhile, my own life settled into something beautiful. The new group chat, Real Bridal Babes, didn't fizzle post-wedding. It flourished. We sent morning selfies, recipe fails, life updates. The kind of small, real things Maya would have found off-brand. But those were the things I'd almost lost, the pieces of life that didn't need to be filtered or sold. Last week, a small package arrived on our doorstep. No return address. Inside was the infamous wedding invitation. Water-stained, warped, burned around the edges, like it had been plucked from a latte and left to dry under fluorescent regret. There was no note, no explanation, just the envelope. I held it for a second longer than I meant to, then dropped it in the trash and walked away, smiling. If this story hit home, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more savage endings. Drop a comment below and tell us, where in the world are you tuning in from? Your support helps us keep bringing real stories to light, one messy fallout at a time.